Today we're looking at how to note new vocabulary in a manner that will allow you to use it effectively. If you find this video helpful, you may be interested to visit my blog at ielts.com or my website englishryan.com, and please like and comment on my video. I'm often surprised when I look at the way students are preparing for their IELTS examination. They often have a vocabulary book that is basically just a very long list of words. And sometimes these lists can be several hundred or even maybe 1,000 words in length. Just lists and lists of words that they have seen on CNN or BBC, and these are words that they want to remember for later. The problem is when I hear these same students using these words in their speaking or writing, they often tend to use these words incorrectly. So it becomes glaringly apparent that they are using them in error. That basically they know what the word means, but they don't know how to employ it. So personally, I feel creating a vocabulary list is not the way to master English vocabulary. In fact, I feel that lists like this are kind of a big waste of time, as it doesn't really teach you how to use the word in correct context. So now, as you are probably aware, in English, words rarely describe a situation accurately by themselves. So you typically have to combine more than one word to describe a situation properly. And what this means is that words create meaning by being combined with each other. So thus the key to really strengthening your vocabulary before your IELTS exam is to train yourself to memorize words and word partnerships to help you remember how to use the words properly. So for example, I have the word tragic on the screen here, and I had a student come into my class the other day, and they told me that they had been in a car accident, and luckily nobody was hurt, but they said, when they were talking about the situation, they said, we were very tragic. So, this is kind of what I'm talking about here. I mean, here the students, they know the word tragic means something very bad, but they don't really know how to properly use the word. So to fix these sorts of errors, we need to change the way we are making note of new words. I'm sure what happened in this student's case was that they came across the word tragic, they looked it up in their dictionary, and they wrote it as a single word in some vocabulary list, and just made a mental note, okay, tragic means something very bad. And then here the mistake happens, we were very tragic, which doesn't really make any sense at all. And then of course, if they go into their examination and they use the word in this way, this is not going to help them score very well. So let's pretend that I am an IELTS student and I am watching CNN, and the word tragic scrolls across the bottom of the screen. I'm not going to simply look up the meaning of tragic and add it to my vocab list, but I'm going to make note of the exact way in which tragic was used on CNN. So for example, if the word tragic was combined with situation, so we have a tragic situation, I will make the note in my vocab list. I might write the phrase tragic situation, which is much more effective than just writing the word tragic. So, and then perhaps maybe a few days later I see tragic again somewhere else. Maybe I'm reading a BBC article and I see the word tragic is used again, or another form of tragic. Perhaps it's being used as tragically, something like this. Now, what I would do in this situation, I would add a separate entry. So basically, if the word was used as perhaps tragic event, I would make a note. Let me get my formatting palette out here. So I would make a note that tragic can be used with situation, and tragic can also be used with event. So when I go back to my vocabulary book now, I can very quickly see, oh, okay, so tragic, it's combined with situation. It can also be combined with event, and then perhaps at a later time, you know, another combination of tragic comes up, and I would note this in my book. And I think that if you contribute time to building a list of words in this manner, I believe it'll be 100% more helpful to you than just writing a big long list of words without, you know, showing the connection that these words share with other words. So what you'll find when you study in this manner is that your vocab list will begin to become much more useful to you. And as you review the manner in which words are commonly grouped in English, you will begin to use them this way, and it will help you to sound much more fluent and much you just will be able to use the words much better. I hope that video was helpful. Thank you for listening.